Welcome to the Fit Body Challenge, 15 days to clean eating, getting fit, and feeling confident in your body. I'm your host, Crystal Jackson. Today, I have one of my very, very good friends. Her name is Carli Tonner, and she is a lover of whole health and a badassery life. She informs and inspires people to make better, bolder, and safer choices throughout her knowledge in beauty products and her experience of living out her dreams. Carli believes what you put on your body is as equally important as what you put in your body. She is on a mission to educate more women and men on the effects of the beauty products in today's day and age, and how knowing better is doing better. Knowledge is power. Get ready for a powerful interview where Carli shares the simple things that we can change on a daily basis that will get us one step closer to having our healthy, fit bodies. Welcome everybody to the Fit Body Challenge, and today I have one of my dear friends, Carli, with us. Carli, thank you so much for being here.
Oh, my pleasure. This is such a joy to be on your summit.
Thank you.
Big deal.
Oh, thank you. Well, tell us a little bit about the last 6 months. You've had this crazy, amazing journey in your life, and just tell us a little brief story about it.
Yeah, I actually want to backtrack just a little bit further if possible. So for any of you who don't know this, I know Crystal through a challenge that we both participated in called Hell on the Hill. And a badass named Jesse Itzler is the one who got us out of our comfort zones, more into our mental grit. And that really was the beginning of my 6-month journey. So because of that, and because of constantly choosing the discomfort and knowing my thought process and knowing when things get inconvenient or challenging, how you rise above and you just forge ahead, right? And having that mentality, I quickly realized, what am I doing with my life? I'm going through the rigmarole every day. I even declare this, it's Groundhog's Day every day. I'm waking up, going to work, going to do my workout, rinsing, repeating, and it's boring. And so I just one day was like, I need a change. And I don't know what that is, but through the grace of God and the higher powers, they definitely provided me with this opportunity to travel the world. Wow. So I quit my job, gave them 3 months, and I was like, this is happening. And it was scary, and it was a lot of things. But ultimately, I traveled through Asia, Europe, Africa for 6 months and met wonderful people, have new perspective on this world, and now I'm back. I ran out of money, so, that kind of stuff happens, but I definitely tapped into what it looks like to, access my higher self and what that looks like to just live a bigger, bolder life.
I love that. Share with us, what's like the biggest thing you remember from that trip? Now, I know this is like a Fit Body Challenge, but still, what I want people to hear about you, Carli, and why I admire you is that you didn't choose the easy route. The easy route would have been staying in the grind. Yeah. You actually chose the route that was scary, that you had to trust yourself, right? And put yourself out there. So that's why I love having you here. And we have a whole different topic to talk about, but I want you to share with them, like, what was the biggest, like, life-changing moment in that entire 6 months, or one or two that you could really inspire people with?
So I think with traveling, just in general, no matter where you go in this world, especially if you're by yourself or not with familiar people, you learn a lot about yourself. And more so when you get out of like the first world countries, you get to see what it is that other people are experiencing in their day-to-day, and that's their normal. So there's all of a sudden a new perspective on what it is that we have access to in the United States or wherever you're listening from. And through that, there was just a greater amount of appreciation. There was a lot of like internal dialogue. So you're with a group. It's like you're going through the motions within the group because you might know Jane Doe, and feel comfortable around her, and then may lean on what she decides to do in her everyday because it's like, I know her, so this is a little bit easier. But it was very much every day asking myself, what do I want? Carli, what do you want to do? It doesn't matter who's around. That will be just the benefit of choosing you because you get to meet new people in that process. But every day asking myself, what are my priorities? What do I value? And what do you want? And how often do we stop and ask ourselves, Crystal or Carly or whoever is listening, what do you want? It starts with you. Like, what do you want?
Yeah. Well, I think even as a woman, especially, you're not really taught to ask yourself, what do you want? Right. And I'm going to share this, that when I got married, and this has nothing to do with, and you know, Curtis, kind of through the phone, you guys talk.
He's a cool guy.
That sounds really funny, but Carly and my husband kind of have like a little business adventure that they're doing. They're figuring it out, but whatever. But what I want to share is that, you know, when I got married, it was a lot of whatever my husband wants. And that was nothing that he did to me. It was how I chose to live my life. I was 23 when I got married. He's 5.5 years older than me. He's smarter. He can make money. He had a great, successful job. You know what I'm saying? So I had all these limiting beliefs that it was, I mean, as simple as, where do you want to go for dinner tonight? What movie do you want to watch? I don't care, whatever you want to do. Total people pleaser all over, right? And never asking myself, what do I want? So I love that you shared that, because as a woman, and just woman or man, right? We should all be living our life in what we want with our terms, not what other people, quote unquote, should think that we do.
Yeah. And you said 2 words that really stood out for me. So choice being one of them. Mm-hmm. We have the power of choice, and that equals empowerment. Yeah. And then living in the shoulds. And that's where I was prior to quitting my job. Like, I should be married, and I should have kids by now, and I should, you know, be sure about what my job looks like and all of these things. And instead it's like, F the shoulds. Like, what do I want out of all this?
Yeah. And maybe that's an opportunity for our audience today to take, I mean, everyone has like 4 to 5 minutes, right? If you're a mom or not a mom or whatever, you live in a crazy house, go in the bathroom and close the door, lock it, and take like 4 to 5 minutes and ask yourself. And if you have longer, even better, I believe, go sit in nature and listen to like we live like across the street from the forest here in Montana. What do you really want in your life? And be with yourself and nature and the noises around you, and just ask and receive. So thank you for sharing that. I love it.
There is something, listen to Crystal, because there's something so powerful in what she just said about being in nature, being present, and like giving yourself that time to just be with yourself. Ask for what it is that you're needing guidance through, and just listening, just sitting still and listening.
Love it. I think something that's missing in this day is our intuition, right? Because I love our phones, right? We all have our phones, but it's like, you don't know the answer and you go right to the phone. Like what, even, stomach flu. What should I do with the stomach flu? Well, I actually know what to do. I just had the stomach flu, you guys. That's why it's top of mind for me. But, instead of intuitively listening to our bodies and going, what do we really, really need? How do we fulfill ourselves? So love that. Yeah. Okay, so on to our real topic for today, and thank you for all those special gifts, Carly. Yeah. Carly, what did you get into? Share with us what you got into once you came back from your trip, because I know you had a lot of time to explore and kind of figure out what is like Carly's passion and gift back to the world, and I would love for you to share that with us.
Yeah, so what we had just spoken about saying what your values are and what it is that you're looking for, and like waiting for that to come your way, sitting back and trusting and being patient, just not always easy. Yeah. Just by getting really clear on what it is that I value and what I'm aligned with, this particular sector, this particular company, it is a company, but this particular approach to whole health, the specific being beauty, came into my space. And the more I'm learning and knowing about what is all or not really all involved in the beauty industry, it is very surprising. And it is like, there needs to be a change. And so I fortunately have 4 siblings and 4 step siblings. So I have a voice. I mean, growing up, I knew I have to be loud to be heard. Yeah. So I now know that the power of my voice is sharing, and also like inspiring others to make the choice for themselves. So what I'm learning every day is that the beauty industry is pretty much unregulated in the United States. Having traveled through Europe, you can get products here that you cannot get there.
Mm-hmm.
And what I mean by that is their regulations consist of upwards of like 1,400 ingredients that you will not find in products. And coming back this way to, the North America, Canada has 600 ingredients that they've banned. In the United States, if you could just take a guess, I don't know if you know the answer to this.
I don't know the answer.
Okay. If you could just take a guess on how many ingredients you think are banned in the United States, what would you come up with?
I'm going to say 177 because I love the number 77 and it has to be more than 100, my guesstimate.
Okay. What if I said it's less than half of that?
Okay. 57.
Less than 57.
Okay. 22.
Okay. A little bit higher.
37.
30 ingredients are banned in the United States. 30. And it's insane. It's been since 1938. So 80 years that any type of regulation has been put in place, or significant regulations have been put in place. That means in the last 80 years, 88,000 ingredients have been introduced into commerce, and less than 10% of them have been tested on human safety.
Okay, I want everyone to just take that in for a second. 1,400 are banned in the UK, Europe.
The EU.
EU, excuse me, in the EU. 600 in Canada and 30 in the United States. I mean,
30.
Like that just does not seem right at all.
Yeah.
Okay, so why are we not banning more substances? Do you know this? Like, what is the cause of, like, why are we only at 30 and they're at 1,400?
I would speculate this is just based on, a hunch on how businesses typically work. So the beauty industry is a billion-dollar industry. And to have options, to have ingredients that are cheap and easy to make and easy to incorporate and easy to manufacture, or at the end of the day, in my eyes, this is my opinion, it is very much just a business approach, and it's an easy fill into what it is that you're trying to get results around. So it's not necessarily the safety it's not the safety that's there, because I can go on to tell you the top 10 offenders that are in all different types of products that we use. But it's very much, I think, just the ease and the amount of money that it would take to understand what it looks like to be putting these on our bodies every day. So just think about this. You might think, oh, I'm not a smoker. I'm exposed to secondhand smoke here and there. It probably won't affect me the same as if I were living in a household with a smoker where I'm experiencing that every day. It's no different than what we're putting on our skin every day. You think here and there, I could probably stand to be exposed to this and be okay. But doing it day in and day out, it just compounds and it does start to affect our systems. So
before you go into the 10 offenders, I want you to actually talk about, what does happen because our skin is our biggest organ, right? So I get it from that standpoint, like what we're putting in our hair, which I think about like is so close to our skull, right? And to our brain. So what's happening when we're putting those bad products on our body, and how can it affect us?
Everything from dermatitis, like skin irritations, anything from it actually being absorbed and affecting our endocrine system, fertility. I mean, there's hormone disruptor, anything that you could imagine. There's some carcinogens that occur in some of these products. Okay, if you could just stop for 1 second and think about when you first wake up to when you leave your house in the morning. If you could just kind of in your head or even out loud, think of the different things you experience from the point you wake up to the point you leave your house. Let's say you're leaving for like a 9 a.m. job. The amount of products that you come in contact with.
Okay. For sure, Dr. Bronner's soap. Okay. You're kind of asking a granola girl.
I know. I feel like, okay, not the brand name, but you think like shampoo, conditioner,
so like we'll go today. So today, soap, shampoo, conditioner, lip gloss, mascara, deodorant.
That's 6.
Yeah, that's pretty much it so far.
Okay.
I'm kind of nerdy with that stuff.
I know. So I'm asking the wrong person. But
But
if you
let's
think,
just say, okay, you know what? Let me tell you my 20-year-old self. For sure, perfume, like Tommy
okay,
Hilfiger perfume,
yeah,
right? Um, like definitely mascara, but like eyeshadow, maybe a little foundation. I've never been big on that much makeup. And never been big on, yeah, I don't know. I guess that's it.
okay.
But,
You
oh,
think,
even like the clean, like the, in the home, like those like smelly things that make the home smell fresh. I know all that
yeah,
stuff's really bad, so I don't
yeah,
have it now, but
that's 10 right there. You
yeah.
think tampons, you think nail
Oh, yeah.
polish, you think detergent. I mean, maybe you're doing a load of laundry in the morning. You think walking to your car, there's fertilizers. There's like all kinds of things that exist, right?
Mhm.
So typically, on average, an American encounters 12 different products in the morning. And that's, are you ready for this? That's at least 100 chemicals they're exposed to just in that time.
That's insane.
It's insane.
It's insane.
So with knowledge, right, it comes different choices that can be made too. And I think that's the component of whole health, your whole approach on spirituality, mental health, physical health, just your overall well-being. So knowing better is doing better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Well, one of the reasons why I wanted to have you on was I remember, and I shared this with you, I had a professor in college say chemicals, they're all going to kill us one day. I still remember this. It's been like 15 years. I still have my notebook. I thought this guy was the craziest person ever. Seriously. I'm like turning, because he's like, that perfume that you're wearing today. And I'm turning to my friend. I'm like, this guy's crazy. What is he talking about? But my father getting diabetes made me do a ton of, or my father, I should say, sharing, he had diabetes with us. He'd had it since I was 5 and I was 21. I started doing all this research. And so I don't know like as much as you, but it was kind of this eye opener of, whoa, what we're putting into our body is really can harm us or be really good, you know? So now I would love for you to share, like, what are the top 10 things that we should, you know, I don't even like to say that word, what would be great for us to avoid?
Yeah. So I'm going to refer to my notes because I can't remember them all. And there's some specifics I'd like to mention about each of them.
Yeah.
So if I'm not looking at the camera, it's because I'm going to tell you what's up with these.
Perfect.
So the top 10 worst offenders. So I'm going to just give you their names and then maybe a little blip about like what it is that they're known for.
Okay.
Some of these you've probably heard of. Some of them might be new to you. Parabens. I'm sure most of you have heard of those. They're more like preservatives and synthetic colors, synthetic dyes and stuff. Those are found in your cosmetics. They're suspected to be human carcinogens, skin irritants, and linked to ADHD in children.
Mm-hmm.
Phthalates. So they're chemicals used in personal care products, cosmetics, and perfumes, hairspray. Oh, I feel like hairspray every time you just get that aerosol. It's like, what are we inhaling? And then what is actually sitting on our hair and our scalp all day?
So I'm going to share, and Mom, I love you so much, and she knows this, so it's not any, and she probably won't watch, so it's okay. But she knows this. In my home, you cannot spray hairspray in here. So she has a full-on do that she does, that she's been doing her whole life. And so I asked her to, and I don't mean this in any disrespect, I just say, hey, Mom, at my home, you can't spray hairspray in here. So it's a pain in the butt, but she has to step outside if she comes to visit us and spray out there and even wait a little bit. But I have a 4- and 6-year-old. I care what I'm putting in my body, and of course my children. So I totally get the hairspray thing, and I've tried, and you know, it's her choice. Again, we're going back to choice, right? It's your choice what you're putting in your body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with phthalates, you'll have hormone disruptors. It's linked to increased risk of breast cancer, early breast development in girls.
Wow.
Just knowing that information, it's like, again, I think sometimes people think like, oh, like what are the odds I'd have to like wear a can on my head every day in order for that to happen to me? But
it's all around us.
About all the different products that have phthalates in them or other things that are hormone disruptors. it all builds on each other.
I look at what can you control. So in Southern
Mhm.
California, when we used to live in San Diego, you go through Carlsbad and there's all these strawberry fields. I can't control the pesticides that they're putting on the strawberries. I can control not eating those strawberries. But when we drive through on the freeway and you smell the toxic air, I can't control that. But what I hear you saying is that we can control, I was sharing with Carly right before this. I didn't even know I had this little thing from her company that I was just using. I'm like, oh my gosh, Carly, it's your company. But I can control using that versus, chapstick that has potentially phthalates and parabens in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's powerful.
Very powerful. Triclosan is one that's an antimicrobial chemical known to disrupt the endocrine system. Sodium lauryl sulfate, formaldehyde. Golly, when I hear that, it's like that preserves bodies, and that is found in nail polish, body washes, conditioners, shampoos, cleansers. It's like, ay. That's obviously harmful to your body and your immune system. Toluene, that's basically something that can dissolve paint in paint thinners.
Wow.
And that's found in nail treatments, hair color, bleaching products. It's also just toxic to your immune system. Propylene glycol, it's like known to cause dermatitis, and then sunscreen chemicals. So this is something I find really interesting. We're in the summer months. Yeah. It is a time where people are wanting to protect their skin, and at the same time, they don't realize how it's also quite harmful and toxic to their skin, as well as the ecosystem. So there's been a recent study that was released saying that oxybenzone is proving to kill coral reef because there's a component that's leaching the nutrients from coral. So while you think like, oh, I'm protecting my skin from the UVA and UVB rays, you're actually probably doing something within your system using that compound, and then also in turn affecting the environment. And so it's like, oh, you know what? This is going to be a slight segue, but a few years back, I learned my brother works at the zoo, and that during the Halloween months, they do a little boo at the zoo type thing. And there's something called palm oil that's used in a lot of candies. So I didn't realize that some candies, companies are using deforestation to extract this palm oil to then use in their candy for purchase and for eating. And you don't know what you don't know. Yeah. And so knowing that information, knowing that palm oil is also used in cosmetics, and to have a sustainable way of, retrieving that and being responsible, is what this company that I'm working for is currently doing. So it's alarming to know that like what we're putting on our skin every day is harmful in most cases. There are some products out there that are responsible and that do the research. But again, it's pretty much an unregulated industry. So a lot of that information is not out there. So it costs money to commission that type of work. And that's where change can happen now, is by us using our voice to put out there that we want a change. And it starts with we the people. So as soon as we, pick up momentum and start with this mission that I'm a part of, we can make the change for ourselves and our future.
That's awesome. So what can people do, Carly? Like, what is something that obviously we can control what we're putting inside of our skin? I just want to add one thing. When you're trying to have, your best body, which I think of having your best body, mind, body, and soul, to live the life that you really, truly are meant to and designed to live. So it's not about having the best butt ever, which if you're here for the best butt ever, that's not actually my mission. But fit in all ways of your life, if that makes sense, right? Yeah. So you have to think about, if you're putting chemicals into your body, you're actually taking time away from your body to heal you. It has to detoxify all the shit that you're putting into it. So at nighttime when we're sleeping, it's actually like your liver is working overtime to detoxify these chemicals that you're putting into your body and not having the time to heal your body, which is causing you to lean down. Yeah. Sleeping and letting your body like not have to digest food all night long, right? So I'm big on lighter meals at nighttime, which is a whole nother topic. But my point in sharing this is it all comes together, all of it. It's not just your workout. It's not just your nutrition, but what are you putting into your brain? Like, Carli, I love you because we can get on the phone and we have the most real conversations. Yeah. And I value that in our friendship so much. And I'm not saying that I don't have that with other people. I'm just saying, like, you and I, for, God reason, we've just come together and it's a soul sister that we can be real with each other and help each other. You are a positive person in my life. So, it's like we have to think that's having the most fit body, if you want to call it that.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyone who's listening needs to know that Crystal is a gem of a person. I am so thrilled that we met during Hell on the Hill. And you're right. Like, there is that emotional and, there's a level of vulnerability that we can have with each other that really taps into well-being. And when people can't really expose their true selves, it's, first off, it's like that's unfortunate that you don't have an outlet, or maybe you don't feel safe, or whatever that is. But at the same time, it's like a lot of, I don't want to generalize. There's just an opportunity for people to just be their true, authentic selves with whoever it is that is in their lives. And I'm fortunate to have that with you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Me too. And you'll be exhausted if you keep having to fake it with people.
Yeah.
Honestly, you will. I was in a training and the trainer came up to me and he's like, "You're exhausted." And I turned to him, excuse my language, but you guys just have to be in the moment with me. I turned to him like, "Yeah, I'm fucking tired." Okay. And like, I snapped back at him. But the point of him sharing that was I was in such people pleaser mode, making everybody, coming back to what we first talked about, what do you want in your life? Yeah. I was in such people pleaser of, I want to make everybody else, I don't want to like ruffle any feathers of people around me, that I wasn't living my life.
Yeah.
And I was making everybody else happy. But let's go back to where we were going. Sorry for majorly digressing. I just want people to understand that, like, we got to do what we can to heal our body as much as possible. Mm-hmm. But what is something that people can do to raise their voice, to make a difference, to, make sure that these laws get changed? Because it's ridiculous that we're at 30 banned items. Sorry, I'm not saying that right, but substances. And the EU is at, gosh, did I say it right? EU?
Yeah.
Yes. Sorry, EU is at 1,400.
Yeah. It's appalling. And one simple step that you can take, if you have a phone that allows you to make text messages, I'm sure your standard text rate message fees apply, is text Better Beauty to 52886. And what that does is, so Better Beauty, one word, to 52886. And that basically creates an email. It'll prompt you. So I think it'll ask for your name and email, but it will create an email on your behalf that is sent to your legislator in favor of the Personal Product Care Act. Okay. And it's just a simple thing to do. So I'm a part of this company. It's called Beauty Counter. And we're on a mission to change the industry, change the way people view beauty, understand that, like, there are safe, effective products out there, and how they're sourced, and the environmentalism behind it, and the sustainability acts that they consider. And I just had a brain fart.
It happens.
I know, right?
Cut this out if you want.
Okay, we can do that. So
we are out the armpits for a second and we'll come back.
Yeah, right. So I'm a part of this mission for a company called Beauty Counter, and we're here to make changes in the beauty industry. And by doing this, I will say that there were 100 people last year that went to Washington, D.C. to really be the advocates that we are for this change. And one of them actually happens to be my mentor and someone that I really, really treasure. She's a wonderful woman. And she's like, you better believe that the words that we say and the action that we're taking and the texts that are coming through for these emails to then be sent, they are making a difference and they are listening. But it's going to take more of us to make this stand and to fight for what it is that we want to see changed. So at this point, there is something called the Cosmetic Internal Review Board, and they're the ones that pretty much self-regulate the beauty industry, not the FDA.
Okay.
And by us raising our voice and taking a stand, we're able to then really get in there and make some change.
I love it. I love it, Carli. You know, you guys, like, if anything, I mean, think about for yourself, for your daughters, for your sons. I mean, boys are I'm teaching my boys, like, you know, self-care at a young age, cleaning them faces, putting on nice lotions, you know, because I played volleyball for so long that, you know, beauty, gosh, that sun, it was so amazing when I was younger and feeling it now, but that's okay. But take a stand, you guys. If you like, don't feel like you have to, but if you are someone that's standing here going, gosh, I want to know more, like, reach out to Carli. I know, Carli, you have a free call that they can have with you, and I want you to share that with them. But also, like, be the person in your life that will raise up their voice because they don't want to live in a place like this, you know? And if you're in the other place, like Canada and the EU, where they have more regulated, maybe even help out the United States and stand strong in our voice to help out.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Because we used to have the same coach, you know, she was always big on, like, take a stand for something.
Yeah.
Like, piss some people off. Hopefully you pissed off some people.
Yeah. Ruffle the feathers. Stir the pot.
That's what I mean, in a good way. And, you know, because I think people could even be shocked by this. Like, what are you talking about? The perfume, the Tommy Hilfiger perfume, or the hairspray that I absolutely love that keeps my hair in place.
Yeah.
There are better options.
Yeah.
There are.
So I just want to ramble off a quick stat that I think is powerful. So I got into this for my own knowledge and for my own, like, passion. I love mission-based work, but I also have a good friend who, it's been a few months now. So she had her daughter a month early because they found a particular cancer in her breast ducts. Well, they did a single mastectomy and did more research and found that it was actually outside of her ducts. And so she had to start undergoing chemotherapy. And essentially, she's like, breast cancer does not run in my family. So her doctor is attributing it to hormone and estrogen levels. And he's like, you have to be really careful with what you put on your skin, deodorant, lotions, body, like whatever it is. It's like, it can make changes in your body. And so just knowing that information, it's like, golly, 1 in 3 versus 1 in 2. So 1 in 3 women versus 1 in 2 men will be diagnosed with cancer. 1 in 5 people will be diagnosed with skin cancer. Wow. And this is just something that it's like, I don't remember these stats growing up, but I think this is another topic, but within, like, the food industry and, like, what it is that we put in our bodies, that regard, and, like, what it is we put on our bodies from the beauty industry, it's like, no, it's the change starts now.
Yeah. Be the change.
I've
always loved the quote, and I don't remember who it's by, but be the change you want to see in the world.
Yeah. I think it's Mahatma Gandhi.
I think so. That was my guess, but I didn't want to quote it if I would, you know, I wasn't 100%.
I think it is.
Carli, where can I know you have a free gift for them, and then also where can they find out more information about you and what you're up to?
So the free gift, and it basically is like an opportunity for you to get on the phone with me, maybe even a video chat, just so I can see what products you're using, and we can go through to see what you experience or put on your skin on a day-to-day and rid that stuff that's not really serving you. So there's also a really great app that you can download. So I'm going to challenge each of you to do this. Download an app. Yes, download it. It's called EWG, Environmental Working Group. And it's a database that contains a lot of different product lines out there. Now, there's some that I've scanned that aren't available, but I think that's where I could be a resource to you all. But you can scan the things that you may love at your house just to see if they're loving you back. And it will give you a rating, and it will also give you a color range. So whether it's green, yellow, or red, it will tell you what it is, if it's considered like a cleaner product, or if it starts to get into the yellow and red, like what are the things that are coming through. The fragrances, which, by the way, you all need to know this, fragrance is considered something that's trade secret. So they don't have to disclose what it is that's in fragrance and it can be comprised of thousands of different ingredients. So knowing that like fragrance comes through on anything you might scan is, for me, always a red flag. And then obviously anything in the red is just like, you might as well just throw that sucker out. I don't even know why you'd hold on to that. So EWG, Environmental Working Group, it's a good resource to be able to scan the barcodes on the products that you're using.
Awesome. Thank you I forgot to ask you about the challenge of the day, so that was perfect.
Challenge.
Download it, and maybe let's just say how many products you want them to scan in their house. Like give them a number so it's an achievable step.
I'm going to say 12 because that's something we talked about, that on average an American will experience or use 12 products on average before they leave their house in the morning.
Perfect. Cool. And then where can they find more about you, Carli? Like where's like your social media information?
Yeah, so my name's Carli Tonner, and you can go to carlitonner.com. I have an awesome landing page on there that shows a picture of me in Spain. And from there you can sign up for my newsletters, and I'll be in communication. I do a weekly newsletter and a blog post, and it talks about, similar to what you're doing, Crystal, whole health. So like whether that's your mental health or a realization that I've had that's a learning experience that maybe you can relate to. So it's just a fun little, there's little blurbs on there, easy read, good pictures, but just things you need to know about approaching whole health.
Carli, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being a stand in the world and creating change and creating a movement, because we need more leaders and people like you to do the work to live in the world that we truly want to live in. So thank you for being you.
Thank you. And mad props to you, because you're the person putting together stuff like this, a platform for people to be able to share. And that just goes to show like the type of leader you are to let people air their voices.
Thank you. Yep. We all get to be seen. We all get to be heard, whether you believe it or not. It's actually your soul's purpose to be seen and heard and make a difference in this world. So thank you, Carli. Mwah.
Love you more than you know. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Thank you for joining us in this episode of the Fit Body Challenge. Make sure to come back tomorrow for our next expert, and post in the Facebook group where you can connect with other people who are on this journey together with you and challenging themselves each day to have the most confident, fit body.